Hockey fans, welcome to the return of BoardCheck, Impact Media's weekly drive through the neutral zone into Ovechkin's corner. We're going top shelf because we're fancy like that into the world of professional hockey. Tons to get into tonight. I know we missed our preview of the first round. It's been a busy last couple weeks. I'm not even going to make excuses. Probably should have did more shows than we have, but hey, we're here to talk a little bit about the first round and to kind of preview the second round. But before we do that, I want to make some announcements. Nothing bad, it's all good. Shout out to my friends at All Black Temples, a Tennessee or a band, a really cool rock band out of Tennessee. They're not a Tennessee rock band. They're not country. They're really good. Check out All Black Temples. Anywhere you find social media, tell them the Impact sent you. They're good. They're really good. I was listening to them on the way in today, and just got me pumped up to do this show. Also, I did my yearly thing of one of my yearly things of signing up for the Peachtree Road Race here in Atlanta. The show is based out of Atlanta for people who do not know. And signed up for the Peachtree this year. If you would like to donate to my cause, we'll put you on whatever gear I end up wearing. And the reason I say that is for the right deal, I'll basically wear about anything you want, pretty much, tastefully, obviously. But if you want to advertise your business, if you just want to do a tribute to someone, can be anybody, could be somebody still with us or maybe had passed on, just hit us on any of the social medias. Send me a DM, whatever. Email us here at the show, 3endzone@gmail.com. A bunch of other places you can find us. Just shoot us a message. And trust me, we're not trying to make $1 million or nothing like that. But no, for a couple bucks, you want to put your name on my shirt or maybe the shorts I wear or maybe an armband or something. It just depends. Because like I said, uh, you donate, if you're the big donator, you're the person with the bigger donation. And or for the right price, like I said, you want me in a funny costume, we'll do that. Let's just keep in mind that it'll probably be about 95 degrees. So, no ski coats. I'm not going to dress up as Chuck E. Cheese or any mascot or anything like that, but it can be negotiable. Because we're going to raise some money and maybe try to donate some of it or something. I don't know. It just depends on what we get. But I did sign up for the Peachtree, as I said. So if you want to be a part of that, want your name somewhere on me, or I'll do a video and go over all the stuff before all the people involved with my Peachtree race. Lucky for you guys, I am more of a walking billboard or kind of a jogging billboard. And it takes me about an hour and a half to do the Peachtree. I am going to try to break my record this year. Fresh off a 5K I did a couple weeks ago that I actually felt the best I've felt in a while. I am a little lighter than I usually am, and the weather was pretty good, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I'm trying to get in better shape, trying to get back running, because I'm around all these athletes, and I could do better. I know I could do better. Speaking of people that could do better, now, first off, if you're watching us on YouTube, then you already know this information, and congratulations and thank you. As always, you can send questions, comments, suggestions, likes, ratings, reviews. If you're already on YouTube at BoardCheck99, hit that subscribe button. I think it's up here. Could be over here. Be somewhere down here. Either way, hit the subscribe button. Leave us a question, comment, suggestion, any of that stuff. We are going to do giveaways, guys. I'm tried to give away some stuff before, and we'll figure something out. Lots of big stuff coming up later in the summer, hockey-wise. But if you're on any of the social medias and you're not checking us out on YouTube, go to at BoardCheck99 and you will find all our hockey content. If you want to find our non-hockey content, you can go to our other channel, Impact_Media_. Underscore is the little dash at the bottom. You got a dash in the middle. This one's at the bottom. You guys know what underscores are. But same thing. If you want to follow us, we're going to start doing some giveaways, some fun stuff. I'm going to start having some people on these shows now that we're going to get them regularly back on. Um, let's get into it. Some people that need to be better. Let's start right out of the gate. In round number one, the Dallas Star. This was one of the better series, and not because it went to 7 games, because another series went to 7 games, and I don't think it was as good. The Dallas Stars took on. They were the number one seed. They took on the wild card, the second wild card, the Vegas Golden Knights, the reigning, defending, undisputed Stanley Cup champions from last season. Vegas started out big. They win game one. They win game two. Both of them pretty close, which was weird because these games were in Dallas, I think. Do we have? I think I hope I had this written down right. Um, does it say? Yeah. So they win game one. They can win game two. You're thinking, hey, I've said all along that the uh, the Golden Knights beat the Dallas Stars 3-0, 3 games to none this year. And if anybody was going to knock off the top seed, it's probably going to be Vegas. I almost had it. But Vegas wins one. Vegas wins two. You're thinking really good. All right, things go back to Vegas. Dallas wins an overtime thriller. And then they turn around and win again on the road, 4-2 in game number 4. So this thing's all knotted up. When you knot up like that, it becomes a 3-game series. First one to 2 wins is going to take this thing. Well, Dallas keeps that momentum. They basically win 3 in a row and put all the pressure on the Vegas Golden Knights, who now have to win 2 out of 3. And they were able to win game 6. Or actually, they need to win 2 in a row. They win game 6, 2-0. You're feeling really good about the momentum. And then Dallas finds a way to eke out that 2-1 win. The Dallas Stars move on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Congratulations, Dallas. Dallas, they had to fight. Vegas was going to be that team. Not because they're defending champs, because they're that team. They're the ones that doesn't matter what the number next to them means. All it means is it's going to be a tough out. It's going to be a tough night on the rink. Um, but hats off to the Vegas Golden Knights. They had a solid season. They had some ups and downs, some goaltender issues here and there, and some injuries. Mark Stone getting injured right there at the end. Just it really put a damper because he is Mr. Golden Knight. He by far is what helps keep that together. And once they just tried to put it all together, Jack Eichel with another fantastic performance, but in the end, it's the Dallas Stars moving on, and they're the number one seed, so they're going to be a terror. Now, who are they going to face? They're going to face the winner of the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. Winnipeg was the 2 seed. Colorado is the 3. How did this one shape out? Well, Winnipeg out of the gate, they win at home. They beat Colorado 7-6. Now, if you're going to try to boat race, or try to outrace, rather, if you're going to try to boat race them, it turns into outracing them. Colorado's not the team to do that. You're better off trying to prevent them from scoring than to just try to outscore them. And I know you have to outscore your opponent to win, but I'm just saying, putting 7 on the board is great, but you also gave up 6. And you woke up the Colorado Avalanche because they follow that up. They get their first win of the series in game number 2. They 5-2. So that's 11-9 is your score after 2 games. Then Colorado puts 6 on the board at home, 6-2. So that's what, 17-11? See where I'm going with this? Then Colorado puts 5 on the board. I'm going to change my prediction from later from seeing that. 5 on the board, 5-1 in game number 4. Game number 5 goes up to Winnipeg. And hey, Winnipeg, you got 3. but you gave up 6. You see why you don't wake up Colorado like that? They scored what? Let's see, that's 12, that's 17, 22, 28 goals in 5 games. That's what, 5.3 or so, 5.4, like it's more than 5 a game. Good Lord. Now, we all know I don't have a lot for Winnipeg, but my Lord, I mean, for gosh sakes, that's why you don't wait. That's why you don't poke a bear. In this case, it was a Sasquatch. You woke up Sasquatch and he came and ate all your beef snacks. I mean, you woke up the buzzsaw. It was just a sharp piece of metal. Then you hit the on button and it sawed through everything. So, congratulations to Colorado, who was actually the lowest seed to advance of the entire playoffs. They were actually the only low seed. And that's going to pretty much tell you the way the rest of this goes. But they win 4-1. They are going to face the Dallas Stars. Dallas is going to have to up their game. If they try to go goal for goal with Colorado, it is not going to work. Colorado is the buzzsaw in the West. But let's talk about the other 2 series because there are 2 more series and they included some really good teams. The Vancouver Canucks took on the first wild card, the Nashville Predators, and think Nashville just ran out of gas. I'm not going to make excuses for them because they didn't make excuses, but Vancouver wins game number 1, 4-2. Then Nashville comes back 4-1. Hey, we're tied at 1. This makes this a 5-game series. First one to 3 wins. Well, game number 3, Vancouver wins that one. Game number 4, Vancouver wins that one. So now the only way for Nashville to win is they got to win out. Well, they win game 5, 2-1. And then game 6 in Nashville, that's the one that stings a little bit. They lose that one 1-0. They just had no goals left. Let's see what they scored: 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 in 6 games. That's an average of 2, including getting shut out in game number 6. They just ran out of it. Now, once again, we say it all the time. This is not a cop out. Nashville is ahead of schedule. Nobody outside of Predator fans in the front office and the players had the Nashville Predators being a playoff team last year, let alone this year. Last year, after the complete overhaul, this year, after a lot of new faces still moving some things around, this is just at the start. This train just left the station. So many good things that we're going to get to talk about the Nashville Predators. Hats off to them. It's kind of funny looking. But hats off to them for an amazing season. Played hard, but Vancouver's a good team. Vancouver is going to have to do better than they did against Nashville, or they're going to get beat by their opponent, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this was a solid series. I'm not doing it to defend Nashville either. These 2 teams are pretty even. The only difference was that Vancouver was able to capitalize on some mistakes by Nashville, and Nashville just couldn't quite capitalize when they needed to. So Vancouver's going to move on to the next round, 4-2. The Edmonton Oilers, all that hype and all that, man, they've got to win soon or what's going to happen, took on the number 3 LA Kings. This series was about over when it started because Edmonton scores 7 goals in game number 1, 7-4. Then LA goes, well, we can do you one better. We're going to beat you 5-4 in overtime. So now, hey, we're down to a 5-game series, right? 6-1 in game 3, Edmonton. 1-0 Edmonton. That was a tough game in game 4. And then game 5, 4-3 at home. The Oilers, they have McDavid. They have all the big stars. They've had all the pieces for a while. They're finally on to I mean, they're going to face Vancouver. They're started with Four, three in the West, one in the East. They started with four Canadian teams. Is Canada going to get a cup soon? Well, the problem is the two remaining teams, spoiler alert for a little later, are Vancouver and Edmonton, who are going to play each other in the next round. So you're going to be down to one Canadian team. I'll talk about who I think is going to win that because the second round has started. But I'll tell you who I think is going to win that here in a little while. Hats off to the LA Kings. They're another team that I did not expect to be a playoff team. I thought maybe they'd be just outside. Them and Nashville are in a similar boat. They're trying to fix some stuff and redo some stuff from the past. They've had to let go of some players that were monumental pillars in all the cup runs they did. But at some point, you've got to move around. And Kings look like they're a little ahead of schedule. So good for the LA Kings, but more congratulations go to the Edmonton Oilers. And Connor McDavid's still around for another round. So we go to, yeah, we'll leave that last. So we'll go to the East. In the East, we have the Lightning and the Panthers. Lightning and the Panthers. Panthers come in as the number one seed, number two overall seed, but they're the number one seed. They were a number one seed. They win game number one over the Lightning. Game two, they win in overtime over the Lightning. Those are both at home. They go on the road to win game number three, 5-3. So a 3-0 lead, it's all but over. And at some point, you know that the Lightning are going to get a game. They double them up in 6-3. The Lightning take game number four, and then game number five, Florida drops 6 on the Lightning. The Lightning they're not quite a shell of the amazing cup runs they had, but they're probably, I would say this offseason or next, you're going to see some people moving out the door and a youth movement, or they're going to start doing something. I don't think they're going to completely rebuild because you've got too much of a nucleus still. You could still make solid cup runs, but after going back to back to back, I don't think you're going to see the same Lightning team that finished this year starting next year. So hats off to the Lightning for their effort, and the Panthers with their brutal style of play, their old school bang you around type deal. They're moving on. They are going to be a terror for somebody. And who are they going to be a terror for? They're going to be a terror for the Boston Bruins, who, even though they were taken to 7 games by the Toronto Maple Leafs, I did not think the Maple Leafs were going to win this series. I know they made a late push, and we'll talk about that, but Boston was the better team. I'll admit that. Boston was the better team. I think at the overtime thriller to take this, it was Pastrnak, I think. I think it was Pastrnak. And he just went unmarked into the zone. They did a dump off the boards, and Pastrnak was the first one to it. And you have a lapse like that and you lose the game. And that's the Maple Leafs in general. Had some goaltending issues. They seem to be a little better this year. And then when it come time to score goals, they just couldn't get the production like they've had in the past. They are going to really have to look at themselves in the mirror and see what they do in the offseason. Hats off to the Maple Leafs. But Boston wins game one, 5-1. Toronto gets game number two, 3-2. 4-2 Boston, and then 3-1 Boston. Those were both in Toronto. That made fans really happy. But I mean, Boston's a scrappy physical team when they need to be, and they're ones just trying to hang on. They're where the Capitals were a couple years ago, but the Capitals hoisted the cup when they did that. So we'll see what Boston can do. Game 5 went to Toronto 2-1, 2-1 again in Game 6. It looked like they had momentum, but when this thing went to overtime, I didn't feel it. Didn't feel that the Maple Leafs were going to advance. They were eliminated once again, as the cliche goes, in the first round. They're going to have to look at some stuff as well. I don't think any of their aging veterans are going to be a big issue. I think Samsonov as a goalie was a good upgrade this year. It was very solid. You know, they had Frederickson a couple years ago. We're going to talk about him with the Canes and his resurgence. Toronto's got to do something a little different. They got to shake some things up. I don't know what that means. They have let some really good talent out the door. in order to pay their stars. So we will see where that goes. But for now, congrats to Boston, who is going to take home Florida. It's going to be a fun series. I said they've already played a game, and the East has already played a game as well. Now, which East teams have played a game already? Well, how about the Rangers? The Rangers, who just completely, they are the only team to not lose in the first round. They swept the Capitals like they owed them money. I mean, 4-1 in game one, 4-3 in game two, 3-1 in game three, and game four was 4-2. So they are averaging like 3.8 goals a game. And JD from up in the media booth at Gladiator games, he is a big Ranger fan, along with Liam, of course. But JD texted me at one point and said, I'm in enemy territory. He went to game three, I believe. And maybe we'll get him on to have him talk about that. But he said it was awesome. Getting to, I mean, you got to see Ovechkin, and then you got to see the Rangers just wipe the floor with the Capitals. So, congrats to the Rangers. Hats off to the Capitals. The Capitals are in the mode where they have a team built around Ovechkin breaking the record, breaking Gretzky's scoring record. And the fact that they made the playoffs was a surprise, probably as much to them as it was to us. And they're just hanging on to what they got, trying to get him to the record. And once they get him to the record, I think he will eventually ride into the sunset not long after that. And they will and they will and they'll just completely overhaul that roster because it's not working. So you got the sweep. Well, who are the Rangers going to play? Well, they're going to play the Carolina Hurricanes. I started this thing with 4 teams, 1 in each bracket, and I am down to 1. We're down to the Hurricanes. BoardCheck fans, we're down to 1 team, and it's the team I picked to win the whole thing. I'm going to tell you how I think this is going to shape. I'm going to tell you the rest of the playoffs. But obviously after this round, we will talk more about if anything has changed there. But I'm going to give my predictions now. First, I'm going to say hats off to the Islanders. They just didn't have enough firepower. They lose 3-1. Canes go 3-1 in game one. They go 5-3 in game two. This thing shifts to Jersey, where the Canes go 3-2 to go up 3-0. It's pretty much over at that point. Like I said, most time that means you're going to get a game. Game four, they get that one in 2 overtimes. Now, you thought maybe they could swap some of the momentum, but they didn't really. And then the Canes just bury them 6-3 once they're back at home in Raleigh. This Canes team's special. We know that. They're, like I said, I'm going to tell you my second. I'm going to tell you my second round to the Cup. What I think would be the best matchups. And this is not being biased. I want to just throw that out. I still think Carolina is going to win the Cup. But I have a new team that they're going to have to contend with to do that. So, the Florida and Boston have already played a game. It is 1-0 Boston. After one, they were able to just really kind of shove around Florida, a physical team that likes to kind of use that physicality. And Boston just played Boston hockey and ended up winning that game. And the Rangers went up 1-0 in their series versus the Canes. I still think the Canes have the better advantage. The Rangers have the best team on paper by far, but this game's not played on paper. It's played on ice. I think the Canes are going to win that series, and I believe Boston is going to win the other series over Florida. I think that one's going to go 6 games. Canes, Rangers are going to go 6 or 7. I think it's going to go a while. But so I'm going to have Canes versus Boston on this side. I've already told you I got the Canes winning the whole thing, so I got the Canes in the finals. We go to the other side. There's no way in the world you cannot pick Colorado over Dallas when they just scored 28 goals in 6 games. So give me the Buzzsaw Avalanche. And shout out to Chris Trefty, that used to be the play-by-play guy of the Gladiators. He is a giant Sasquatch and Avalanche fan. So shout out to him and his lovely bride as well. Hope they are doing well. And yeah, Colorado. And then give me the Oilers over the Vancouver Canucks. This is going to set up a very, very fun semifinal where you're going to get Nathan McKinnon versus Connor McDavid in the West. That's just otherworldly. That's otherworldly. And then I'd love to have McDavid against the Canes in the final, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Colorado is going to be there, and the Stanley Cup is every game is going to be like 6-4, 5-4, 5-3. Everyone, I mean, feel bad for the goalies. The goalies are not going to be the MVP of this series. That Stanley Cup, if it's Colorado and it's Carolina, there is probably an average of 8 to 9 goals per game. I will say 8 goals a game for the 6 games that it's going to go, and I think the Canes are going to win 4-2. That's how I see it. I think it's going to do it for us. I don't have any news. Don't have any notes. Appreciate everybody tuning in to the returning board check. We're going to be every week all the way through the end of the finals. Might do a couple spot things during the summer. We usually take a break in the summer for a little bit till hockey kicks back up, but it's not saying we won't do some fun stuff here and there. Kind of waiting to see how the fall is going to play out as to how the format of this is going to go next fall. But for the most part, we're still going to talk Canes, still going to talk Preds, and we're still going to talk Gladiators for absolutely sure. Make sure to follow us at BoardCheck99 on we're on X as that as well, but on YouTube. Make sure to check out All Black Temples, the band. Make sure if you want to be a part of my Peachtree journey and run, that you shoot me a message, and we'll get your name on my shirt, on my hat, or like I said, depending on if you want to make a bigger donation, we'll talk about what kind of outfit you think I should wear. But other than that, that's another great edition of Board Check. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Go Canes. Go Glads. Go Preds. Go watch hockey. Deuces, gooses.